Okay, we should be live. I'll save the official intro for just a minute. And I'm just going to grab the link to the stream. There we go, it is now live. That's fine, grab a link to that. And we're live for the background. Put that there and put that there. Okay, right. Hello, whoever's here. Sorry, I was just reposting things everywhere else. Welcome to the RTBR judging stream. We're going to be judging the background map entrants. We have 4 entrants in total, so we are going to be judging them, going over things, and we will announce the winners at the end of the stream, not during the stream. We won't be talking about our scores during the stream. You'll just get our opinions, obviously, and then we will announce the winners at the end. With me, I have my 2 co-leads. I have Sloth.
Yo.
And Ambient Noise.
Hello.
Cool. So here's how it's quickly going to work. I'm just going to quickly go over how the competition worked and how it is working now for the judging process for everybody who might want to know, and also for the reason of the well, for the YouTube video as well, because obviously it's going to go on YouTube. So basically, people had 6 weeks to design a number of background maps. We are going to be using the winner of this competition as the official background map for RTBR's Division 2 release. People had 6 weeks to make these. We had 4 entrants in total. A couple of people dropped out in the middle, but you know, overall there was a reasonable amount of people at least giving a go at one in the meantime. We are going to be ranking them in 3 categories: visuals, functionality, and authenticity. Visuals is just how good they look. Functionality is like what's going on, you know, if there's scripted sequences, that kind of thing. And authenticity is how close to the concept art they are, because it's all very well and good to have a very lovely map that has lots going on, but if it looks nothing like the concept art, then, you know, the point is moot. So yeah, that's how we'll be ranking them. Me, Sloth, and Ambient will be giving our own individual scores out of 10 in each of these 3 categories. We'll average them up and total them up at the end. We'll announce the winners, and the full score sheet will be going on the public Discord after that. Just before that, I just need to quickly boot something up real quick. We are going to be premiering as well, before we get started, the particle showcase video that was put together by our particle editor, Random Cat, talking about, or I suppose showing their work on particles for 1.2. So I'm not entirely sure if everybody's caught all the stuff that Random Cat did for 1.2. I think it's a very important part of things. This video will be going public on YouTube after the stream. So we will be showcasing it quickly now, as soon as I can get OBS to behave. And then we'll be getting on with the rest of the judging of the stream. So bear with me just a minute whilst I get this open and set up, because OBS is always a little bit funny like this. There we go. Okay, and then OBS, capture specific window, and I want to capture, that's 1. Okay, is that in OBS? Yep, that should be. Apologies if it's just taking a little minute. There we go. That should be correct. Yes, there we go. I'm watching it on the stream preview and it's correct. Right. And 3, 2, 1. Okay, and that is the particle showcase. As you can see, really great work by Random Cat. Random Cat is doing already a bunch of sorry, I got so stuck in my throat. A bunch of other interesting particles for Division 2, and obviously will hopefully be with us for Division 3 and onwards. So there you go. There will be more of the particle effects shown going forwards. I swear, it picks the least convenient time. God almighty. Right. Anyway, this will be going public after the stream. Cool. Bear me just a minute. My God. Alright. Okay. Very nice. So, that's that. We're going to be getting on with the actual background map competition now, assuming I don't die halfway through the middle through choking to death. Give me just a minute to set this back up. There we go. Is that properly organized? Looks like it is. And sound is coming through, and so are visuals. Okay, cool. Great. Okay, so our 4 entrants are... Where's my Excel spreadsheet? Here we go. Our 4 entrants are Sucksar, Cvox, 2B, and Psy. As I say, we will be going through each of them. Before I start up each one, I'm going to basically try, assuming again OBS will behave, put the concept art up on the stream for just a minute, so that you guys can see the concept art that this person has tried to recreate. And then we are, gonna be going and having a look at the map. So first up is Sucksar's map. Let me see if I can get OBS to behave. Focus in on this JPEG right here. There we go. Microsoft Photos.exe. Well, come on. There we
Charlie,
go.
could you just quickly check Discord?
Could I check Discord real quick? Yes. Oh, and wait, what do you mean? Oh, right. Sorry. Sorry, guys. Here we go. I'm streaming it to these two as well as we go along. Right. And to my judges, this is the concept art as well, so that you guys can actually see this. Here we go. This is the concept art that we're looking at here. This bit of AirX one, I know that it's a little bit off in the stream. Sorry, people. 1 minute. There we go. I think that should be fixed. Looking at the stream preview. There we go. Cool. I've just seen it jiffed over. So here we go. Some nice AirX concept art. Sucksar showed progress on this in the public Discord. I'm interested to see what the final product looks like. All in all, very interesting. Okay, I will now put the stream back to the game and we will start this one up. Just need to double check what the BSP was called. No, that's the BSP, that's fine. I'll make sure I start up the right one then. Is it up on the stream? There we go, cool. Okay, so map, TBR, D2, BG, AirX, is that the right one? That is the right one. Okay, cool. Oh, very interesting.
Yeah, it's got some rotating bits up there, I like it.
Mm-hmm. Really great soundscape going off in here. Really, really nice sound effects. The smoke effects going over as well, very nice. I see there's a little soldier walking along the top. because some of these sequences might be single time sequences that run, I will restart the map so that we can have a look at it again as well.
People in chat are saying the OBS isn't lined up properly. It's
Oh,
cutting
1
off
minute.
part of the screen.
1 minute. Sorry, people. Let me. Oh, there we go. I think that should be correct. Boom, there we go. That should work. That's fine. That's not cutting off now. Nice, there we go. So that is the full thing. There we go, not cutting out anymore. Very nice work all round. Yeah, I think a really great level of detail here. If I just have the concept art up on my phone as well real quick so I can kind of look between them both.
I like the smoke and fog moving. It's very nice detail. It's just moving to the side.
Yeah, I quite like this. It's pretty close to the concept art in terms of the overall look and feel. Yeah, I quite like it. I guess the only thing I would say, having looked at it myself, at the concept art back and forth, is this is a slight bit of a nitpick. The pipe positions are sort of mostly not the same. It brings the whole idea and image together, but in terms of the actual positioning of the pipes, it's not very similar. We've got a couple of key bits here. So we've got the kind of pipe structure over on the right that has the big open pipe with the girders coming out. That's straight from the concept art. That's really good. And we've got also the other girder bit going overhead. But otherwise, some bits of this kind of look like the place has been messed around with a bit, but I don't necessarily think that's a terribly bad thing because it still all together comes into one, which is really nice. That's very nice.
I like it a lot. My biggest gripe is the ground is really flat and uninteresting looking.
Yeah.
There's just a few props here and there. There could have probably been more. Especially the wall on the right, there's not much there going on. You just see the pipes.
Yeah. So, as I say, it's all pretty good. I'd say pretty good entry, nice level of detail. Yeah, I agree with Sloth here. The pipes are really nice, but the floor is a little bit plainer. I guess my advice, would have been more pipes. I think this is more offset a little bit in the concept art because there's actually quite a lot of pipes running along the floor. So this is one of those times taking a little bit closer inspiration to the concept art might have actually worked out a bit better and might have made the floor look a little bit less simple and flat because again, the concept art, there's a lot of pipes running along the floor. But otherwise, besides that, I think a really nice entry. I really like the spinny bits over the domes, I suppose, at the top. I suppose looking at them, they possibly also could use a bit more detail, but because they're background details, I guess it's not as big a deal. And the spinning bits are really nice. The smoke effects are really nice. I will just restart the map real quick. So we can just see if there's any other sequences. Obviously that soldier at the top walks across. I also hear soldiers running around in the background. I can't see any others running around. In terms of the dead rebel there, I did notice that the ragdoll falls down straight away. I'm not sure if there is a way to fix that. Perhaps not. But my suggestion, I guess, would have been to maybe make him a dead industrial worker citizen instead of a rebel. Though he has got a gun in front of him as well, so I suppose you could say he's someone who tried to attack the air exchange. So that actually, with the gun, that's a little bit of environmental storytelling. So that's pretty good actually. So I guess you could go either way, whether about making a rebellious industrial worker or making it a rebel who got gunned down outside. But all in all, I really like it, and I think it's pretty good. What do you think, Ambient?
I mean, it's looking pretty good to me. I agree with the biggest thing, like what Sloth was saying, is the floor is very flat, and compared to especially the walls, the amount of detail, so just sort of as you look down the image, it goes, you've got sort of a sky with stuff blocking it out, and then you got the walls with plenty of kibble and whatnot going on with the pipes and the ladders. but then the floor is mostly just flat with a little bit of debris here and there. And if they were going to stray away from having the pipes like the concept art has, then they could have like varied these, like put some levels to the floor, maybe like a gutter or something for industrial runoff, something like that. But that's about the only real nitpick I have with it, and even then, it still looks really good. So
Yeah, a really nice looking map all round. Cool. So, bear with us a minute. We will put in our scores now, gentlemen, into the Excel spreadsheet. Okay, and our scores have been entered. All right, cool. So that was Sucksar's entry. The next entry on our list is Cvox's entry. I will put the concept art that he used into our group chat here. There we go. That's the concept art that he used, and I will get it up on the screen real quick. So bear with me just a minute. Here we go. Very nice.
this is gonna be interesting.
Okay, and then I just need to move the stream preview over here a little bit. There we go. Okay, cool. So this is the concept art that we've got for Cvox's entry right here. I'm really curious to see what he did with this, because this, I mean, this looks very interesting. I wonder what he did with the functionality and the visuals here. It's certainly an interesting visual, but this is not the kind of concept art I would immediately think lends itself to being a really, really nice background map. So I'm very curious to see what Cvox did with this. Obviously, I imagine, you know, Cvox has done something very interesting because this is Cvox we're talking about here. But still, I'm very curious. Obviously, I didn't look at any of these, and we didn't look at any of these before we shipped it, so this should be very interesting. Okay. Cool. I will get the OBS preview back onto the game, and we will have a look at Cvox's entry. Just gonna make sure that the stream preview is properly aligned. I don't know why OBS is misbehaving today. Sorry, boys and girls. But that is fine. I think that's correct. Yep, that seems to be all correct on my end. That's cool. Okay. So, this one is called, let's be our D2 Concept Chariots. Okay. Okay, Concept Chariots. Let's have a look.
Here we go. Oh.
Very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
There's different people in the pods each time as well, I think.
Maybe.
Very, very interesting. So having a look at this and looking at the concept art, then how this has been interpreted. Yeah, this is very close to the concept art. Like really, really close to the concept art. And the way that these, I guess, chariots, as the BSP implies, are working is also very unique. With those kind of spinning wheels, I wasn't expecting that at all. I also really like the red kind of effect that traces them. I think it's a very creative use of what I guess is probably the grenade effect.
Probably the grenade sprites.
It's very, very, very good, very authentic. And obviously it's kind of an ongoing visual, which is very interesting. And yeah, there is a different thing in the pods each time as well. I wonder how that was done. I wonder if that's on a specific schedule or if it draws from a random table of things to slap in the pods, perhaps.
Not
Yeah.
entirely sure. A little nitpick is that, from what I'm guessing, you can see there's the number 5. I'm not sure if this is a wall or a floor. The concept isn't that easily telling either. But if this is the floor, then it makes sense that everything seems to be standing up or laying down in there. But if this is like a wall going up and down, then I think the props should probably be rotated.
I guess it would depend on on the arrangement.
I guess
it's very strange because yeah.
Cvox saw this as a floor instead of a wall. Because from what I'm getting from the concept art itself is that you're looking down at an angle.
From a concept art, I see it as looking up from an angle, which is interesting. But yeah,
Well,
I mean,
maybe. But then there's the 5.
yeah,
You
then
can see
there's
on
the
the
5.
wall, obviously.
So I do really like the visual. I guess the only, as I say, I think the only interesting thing that is about how you interpret where it is, and like, I guess in relation to everything else. I guess I think it'd be interesting if there was a bit more going off towards the top left and top right, because obviously there's a lot in the foreground and there's a lot in the middle foreground as well. But in the top left and right, there's quite a lot of empty space. That being said, I guess in the concept art, if we're assuming these pods are moving across, then you wouldn't have necessarily seen a lot in there anyway. But that would be nitpicking because I think this is a very, very creative take. As I say, I wasn't sure looking at this concept art how you could have taken this concept into a background map, and this is very good looking. Yeah. What do you think, Ambient?
What I would have liked...
Oh, sorry, go on, Sloth.
What I would have liked is that they move more frequently around. As you can see in the concept art, there are multiple going on at the same time. I'm not sure how easy that would be, but if that was possible, that would be probably preferable. But this is very nice looking.
What do you think, Ambient?
I think, in terms of like being close to the concept art, it's pretty much spot on. However, like you guys were saying, it's kind of hard to tell where exactly it is. So maybe having something in the background that sort of helps orientate the player on where they are would probably help a little bit, because it's very difficult to tell if it's a wall or the floor. Because like, I noticed Cvox was saying in chat that they put numbers on roads in real life as well as on walls. So it could be the ground, it could be a wall. We're not really sure. But the other thing is, I don't know how difficult this would be, but it seems like the way the camera is focused, it's on that turntable in the middle. So maybe having a sequence where one of them would stop and get turned and then go in a different direction would help sort of use that, because right now it's just very static and just sitting there.
Yeah, I see what you mean about the background details, because I think, as I say, my only gripe is that the back left and back right look a bit empty. Something there that had helped to orient the player, I think, would probably waylay some of these concerns about which orientation we're meant to be looking at here. But as I say, that's otherwise all really, really nice. And yeah, I think the design of how the vehicles work is really, really creative. And must have been really fucking hard to get to work like this, to be honest. But it's all really intriguing, and I really, really like it. Okay, seeing as this doesn't use single time events, I'm not going to restart this map. But we can just kind of have a look as it stands. And if my judges would like to note on the score sheet now their points in their categories. Okay, and our scores have been entered. So, thank you, Cvox, for that entry as well. So we've had Sucksars and Cvoxes so far. The next entrant on our list is 2B. I will grab this bit of concept art open real quick. Nah, this one's an iconic one. Everyone's going to recognize this one. Here we go. You're going to recognize this right away. I don't think anybody is going to have not seen this one before. Here we go. It's now in the chat, my fellow judges. We stick it up for the sake of OBS.
Yes.
Photos.exe. Here we go.
This one is going to be interesting.
This one's gonna have a lot to do with depth, height, scaling.
Yes, for sure.
Mm.
It's going to be about whether or not all these background buildings that look really massive in the kind of background actually are functioning properly. Speaking of functioning properly, Microsoft Photos, would you like to? Don't have to, but it would be nice. Sorry, people, bear me just a minute. There we go. I think it's on OBS now. That's fine. Let me zoom in. Cool. I don't know why it's repeating for some reason, but you know, that's just OBS for you then. But here we go. As I say, everyone's going to recognize this right away and have seen it before. Very iconic one, this one. Okay, cool. As I say, nice little wasteland one, I guess, sort of. The crab synth and the soldiers running around. Nice red door, big citadel
No.
in the background.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't this one of the concept arts that was only shown in the uncorrected proof of the Raising the Bar book?
I don't know that off the top of my head. Cvox might know that. Cvox might be able to attest to that. Seems the kind of thing he would know.
Well, just a little question on my part about it.
Correct, but the concept was revealed and uncorrected. Yep, there you go with an ambient. That was
Hey.
spot on. There we go. Okay, cool. So we are now going to change to the game capture. And we will have a look. Again, this entry is by 2B. So let me just grab this open. And then bear with me just a minute to make sure everything's associated properly. So OBS is off center again, as I say. I've noticed that. I'm just going to fix it real quick. It goes back to being off center every time I actually change the stream, which is annoying, but no worries, as I say. Just OBS things. Alright. Okay. Alright, cool, there we go. Okay, actually it's very slightly off the top. Nah, it's fine, it's fixed now. Okay, cool, we're good, no worries. Right, okay, so, as I say, this one is by 2B. What's the name of this BSP so I don't start the wrong one? RTBR D2 _ trumpet. Okay. RTBR D2 _ trumpet. Here we go, again, this is 2B's entry. Let's go. Alright, so I think we've started looping in terms of the background detail now. Actually, no, that was a different set of Metrocops that time. Interesting. Alright then, yeah, I really like the amount of functionality going on here. There's so much. Like, there's so much going on with just things walking around, the APC that parks and stuff that comes over, the shuttles flying overhead, Striders in the background, Crabsims in the background, scanners, you know, all of the Metrocops that walk around. This paints a really active picture, and I do really like that. I really like how much is going on. So as I say, the functionality is, I think, probably my favourite part and the best part of this entry, definitely. I think it gets the scaling quite right. As Ambient mentioned, I think it was quite important to make sure the scaling was right. The Citadel is in the background, we've got buildings behind the gate, and they look to be appropriately scaled and distanced. So definitely I would say that the actual scaling is pretty correct. And as I say, there's just so many sequences that go on and about. But one thing I would say kind of starts to bring this down a bit is just the overall detailing in the foreground. Obviously, the APC kind of drifts a little bit. I do know that that's a limitation of using our APC though, because our APC doesn't have full functionality just yet, so no worries. This is a custom soundscape, by the way, that the guy made. Very good soundscape, very oppressive. But as I say, the thing that kind of lets it down a bit for me is this initial wall. It's very plain, and that door is a custom model, I think, which I appreciate the effort. There's a lot of custom assets going on in this map, but I feel like there should be a little bit more detail on this wall. All the background details are really nice, but the wall takes up about 60% of the foreground, right? And I think a bit more could have been done with all of this to kind of make it look better and to kind of stick out a little bit more interestingly. Certainly I don't think it looks bad. I just think it could have had a little bit more detail put into the foreground details, and it would look nicer. Overall, the yellow is pretty consistent between this and the concept art. I guess the only thing worth noting is that in the concept art, the yellowy fog seems to be playing a little bit onto the wall as well. In this one, it's not really so much. But yeah, okay, those are my thoughts. Ambient, Sloth?
So what I noticed is the way the skybox is done is sort of bothering me just a little bit, but you know, overall it's a really good map. The thing that I noticed is if you look in the concept art, you can see the clouds, you can see that there is a sky there. It kind of looks like it's one single color of the sky.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, it's just a bit strange. It works, but at the same time it would have been nice to see more definition and detail up in the air there. And I echo on the wall, I think, you know, since it's taking up a large amount of your view, it probably could have used more detailing compared to the backdrop a little bit. But I really do like all the activity that's going on screen. It sort of keeps your eyes moving around and less focused on the wall itself and more on what all the little NPCs are doing. And especially how he's got the Crabsims walking across the top. I think that's a nice little touch.
Yep, what do you think, Sloth?
A lot of things. I really like how much things there's happening here, but there are some things that are really pulling it down for me. As an example, you have the Crabsim in the foreground here being entirely static. It could have been probably animated. It could probably also been cast better into shadows or something like the concept art. Right now he's just very there in the light.
I'm just going to restart real quick so we can start seeing all those sequences come through again. But go on.
Okay, now it's animated for some reason. Okay, that might have been a bug or something.
No, but then he freezes.
Okay. The Metrocop standing guard there also seems to be static. You could probably have been slightly animated, or at least been an NPC. I don't know if he's actually dynamic or not, or static. Door, if that's a model, I can clearly tell it's very off in terms of colors. It doesn't fit into the world and could have probably been brushwork instead.
Yeah, there's brush textures that kind of look like this, aren't there, as I recall. This probably could have been done with a door. But yeah.
And my biggest entire gripe with this one is lighting. In the concept art, you can clearly see there's a lot of shadows going on, and light spots, and here the wall is very flat dark. The only really lighting you have is that one light up there that's just shining very dimly. Then you have the Metro Cop standing in light. I don't know where the light is coming from. Then you have the other lights to the right, above the synth crab, a bit too large. And then you have obviously the crab synth himself standing in light.
Yeah. Overall, I really like the amount of interactivity here. As I say, I just think the visuals let it down a little bit, like in terms of the wall and everything else. There's a couple of things here that could have done with some tweaking, and I think it would be a lot stronger. But like as it stands, there's a lot going on, and that makes it a really nice, active map. There's a lot of atmosphere here with all the stuff going on, with the custom soundscape. It is really well put together in terms of its functionality and stuff, and you know, you can tell which concept art it's from, which is good as well for the authenticity. I just think more of these lighting details, as you say, Sloth. Yeah, I agree. I do think more of those lighting details are the things that would have kind of like pushed this into even better territory. And the wall itself, I think, could have done with more detail, because it takes up so much of the visual space. For it to be as plain as it is, I think, is a missed opportunity. But otherwise, yeah, that was 2B's entry. Let's do our scores, please, judges, and we'll move on to the final entry. Okay, and our scores are noted down. Right then. Okay, so on to the final entry. This is Sai's entry, which he noted in his thing. He said he didn't quite have time to finish it, but he wanted to submit it anyway so that he could get feedback on it. So that's completely fine. I just appreciate the submission at all. Yeah, cool. So let's take a look at the concept art first. If I can just grab it open. Alright, to my judges, this is the concept art. For the record, I really like this concept art. It's probably my favourite of the 4 that have been posted, of the 4 entries, so I am really looking forward to seeing how this turns out. I just really like how the wall looks, and from that you might actually be able to tell which one it is, audience, but that is fine. Let me just grab this open real quick and see if OBS will behave this time. But knowing my luck, it probably won't. Go capture. Okay. Cool. Okay.
One of the early concepts for the Combine Smart Wall.
I really, really like this concept art. So as I say, I'm very much looking forward to seeing how this looks. Why did OBS decide to... Hang on. Come on, OBS. Sorry, people, you know how OBS is. Or maybe you don't, but hopefully you do. It's just being a bit stupid today.
Bit stupid, isn't it?
Isn't it? Well, okay, great. OBS has decided to just stop showing it. But no worries. Cool. You guys saw it, so you all know which one we're looking at here. Alright, let's get on to the actual map itself. Okay. Maybe OBS will actually do its job this time. Yeah, one job, OBS, one job. go. It's off center again. Okay. Is that properly scaled? Yes, it is. Okay, cool. There we go. Everything's together. So, what's the name of a BSP? BSP is RTBR background.bsp. Let's give it a go. All right, 3, 2, 1. As I say, not quite done. Oh, you can walk around. That's fine. No worries. I will just do this here. As I say, it's not quite done yet. But if I just position myself here, see, I'll draw HUD there. Okay, and then okay, that is fine. All right, cool. So, um, right, obviously, as Sai mentioned, it wasn't finished. He just wanted to submit it to get some feedback on the overall thing. Uh, I guess I will just mention it because it is necessary to mention for the sake of it being a competition. That the functionality obviously is not quite there in terms of um, like the actual map itself. We've got the leaking skybox, and we've also got the background map entities not quite implemented properly. I'm not sure if that's because you weren't sure how to, or if because this just wasn't finished. If you're not sure how to, that's no worries. It's not that complicated, and I'm sure anybody will be happy to help you out with that if you would like some help on how to sort that out. But besides that, let's try and have a look at this then in terms of the visuals um, and stuff like that, and try to give some helpful feedback. So obviously the lighting is not here just yet in the original concept art. So just some suggestions for where to go, I guess, with when you actually get to lighting this. There's obviously a very strong shadow from the sky that goes along that cloaks the left side of the screen in shadow, and then the concept art, I should say, and then the right side um, goes up a lot brighter, and the metal itself is reflecting. So if you go to start implementing some lighting, you could give a go at that. If you're looking for some advice on how to achieve this effect, if the skybox isn't doing the job for you, what we did in Division 1.2 for some effects like this from the sky is we actually used a projected texture with a really wide view cone. So using something like that with with the right lighting point of a skybox over above, say, one of the buildings on the left there, could yield the effect that you're looking for, perhaps. Just do that, move up a bit. That's fine. So having a little look in here, what else have we got? Obviously you've started to put in the building on the right. I would say that it looks to be like a kind of less like these kind of textures. It looks like those kind of building composite textures. Obviously they're pretty low quality, the building composite textures, but it might be worth having a look at uh, some of them, seeing if you can, see any textures that are helpful. Yeah, I see someone in chat suggesting removing the tree. I do think the way to go is to feed into the debris and rubble that's in the concept art. So obviously the middle of the street is really rubbly, and there's a lot of like the buildings on the sides are really fucked up, and they have loads of debris and crap in them, and plaster caking off and that kind of thing. So obviously, I'm just kind of giving you pointers to where you could go next. I know it's not finished. I also know that you submitted it to get some helpful feedback. So just trying to drop in some ideas about how I would like to see it, because obviously one of my favorite piece of concept art. Because it's not finished, we won't give it a proper full ranking. We'll just, but I will give it an honourable mention because of the fact that at least you submitted to try and get some feedback. And I mean, even if it's unfinished and you're just trying to get some feedback and that kind of thing, worth noting is that you've still gone out there and started to produce a map, and I think that's worthwhile. Considering getting it to the point of being able to submit it is fair enough. So yeah, thank you for submitting it, Sai. I do hope you keep pursuing this one. As I say, try look at some of those things. Ambient sloth, have you guys have some feedback, I guess?
I was sort of lost in thought a little bit on this one because I did have an idea looking at the concept art and looking at this. This could actually be a very good background map to sort of show off the street wars. Because if you think about it, the Combine walls wouldn't really be moving all that much during, normalcy. But if there were rebels in the streets, they'd be trying to destroy everything so the rebels wouldn't be able to get their hands on it. And so the smart walls would start moving like this and destroying things. Because the buildings would be built up around the walls. They wouldn't be built where the walls are already destroying. So this could be a really good map for having like rebels crossing between the buildings over the street, or having combine patrols go by, and maybe even having a few like destructible bits here and there, and watching the wall destroy parts of the buildings as it moves outwards. I do like how he's kept the wall from being one solid texture. He's sort of changed the texture on different parts of it to break it up a little bit. Um, but like you were saying, it really just needs more time put into it. It's kind of hard to critique too much because it's so early on. But it seems like a solid basis for a start.
Yep. Sloth, anything to add?
I agree that it's a solid uh, basis to work on. There's some things I would probably suggest in the future. One would probably make this not a road or a street, because it would probably be better as a back alley or a street you walk through and not a drive, because it seems a bit weird that one side looks a bit larger than the other, and then there's this whole tree thing in the road.
Yeah. I think I agree with Ambient about and with you about trying to make it kind of less like a street, maybe more like street wars, right? So Ambient was saying putting it in street wars, and you were saying putting it in a back alley. Having some citizens walking overhead, having some removing the tree and trying to make it look a bit more run down, I think would really feed into it, and I think would be a good direction to take it. Um,
I would
Otherwise,
also suggest trying out how to make destruction, because this concept art is very heavily reliant on destruction, rubble, broken
yes.
pieces. And currently, we can see the building on the right is clipping into the one block there.
hmm So having a look at good ways to kind of do destruction is a good shout. Um, if you want to have a look at a really good mod upcoming that has that from our very own Fodder Stomp, his mod Metastasis has some really great destruction in it. Um,
Metaphysics.
Metaphysics, that's it. Fuck. Because I always think Minerva Metastasis, right?
Yes.
Right, Metaphysics. That's it, Metaphysics. Right, I'm going to say that again. Metaphysics. Done by Fodder. Really great destruction stuff in there. Absolute masterclass in destruction. Fodder stuff is Metaphysics. That's good. We'll do a tweet about it tomorrow, and maybe like a little ping to kind of bring some awareness to it, because it's a little side project he's been doing, and he's been working really hard on it. And a bunch of us have played it, and it looks really cool. So you should go and take a look at it as well, and keep track of it, because it's looking very exciting. But yeah, okay, cool. So as I said, we're not going to be judging this one. So if you guys just want to put like NA in the boxes, that's probably just the quickest way to do it. Cool. And there we go. Division of labor. If we all do it, it takes a little bit less time. Right. Okay, so now is the slightly less interesting bit where I actually need to quickly make the averages for the others so we can actually rank them. I think I can roughly see which ones are gonna win and stuff here, but I want to rank it real quick first. So bear with us just a minute. In the meantime, I'm just going to load up this other one. Little bonus thing for you guys, I guess. Before we planned to do this, we were working on a little background map for Division 2. We're no longer going to be doing this one. You can just have a look if you like, whilst I am calculating all of this. This is probably going to just get thrown away. We're probably not going to be doing anything more on this. I was working on it as a little side project, and I'm not going to do any more of it now. So, yeah, no worries. I will toss it in the ModDB download as a little bonus to anybody in case they're interested. But yeah, here, there you go. Have a look if you so wish. Um, and yeah, I will now start to rank all of these. Wow, why is this Fulbright? Hang on.
probably Fulbright because the last map was Fulbright.
Ah, yes, there we go. Cool. I'll just leave that for a minute whilst I rank these averages out. Okay, so okay, so we have right now. I don't need. No, that's not the one I need to do. Hang on. I will round up these scores. I think that seems fair. As I say, bear with me just a minute. This is the less fun maths part. And for my judges, I'm just going to quickly change it to share screen so you can tell me if I'm making a mathematical error, but I don't think I am. But I'm just going to quickly get this up anyway. So you guys can see the working I'm doing here. And then OBS is still showing the background map. Yes. Okay. And then this should be the same. Oh, okay. Okay. Next one is cool. That was a nice quick one to do. And the last one. And that will be the average for this one. Okay, cool. So, all right. So I think I've finished all the maths. Do you guys, my fellow judges, want to quickly check the working? You guys were following along. I imagine everything looked fine.
Think so?
Yeah, seems about right.
Looks about right. Okay, cool. So we have our people. Obviously, Sai, we did not judge. We were just giving him some feedback. But yeah, cool. That's fine. He will be the honourable mention for this competition. So of the other three, ranking them from third to first. In third place, we have Sucksar's entry, which ended up with 6.4 out of 10 average. I really liked the visuals of it, but I thought the functionality could have done a bit more work, and I thought the authenticity. I think the pipes were just very different, and also I thought that my main visual gripe that stopped it from being higher than an 8 was the fact that the floor pipes. If the floor pipes had been more authentic to the concept art, the visuals would have been a higher score. But the authenticity would have also been a higher score for me, if it was close to the concept art. That's kind of my main gripe with that. The function, as I say, I didn't rank it terribly highly. It wasn't bad. I guess I liked the spinny things, and I did like the soldier walking overhead, but um, with that being all there was for the functionality, for things happening, I think, missed opportunity. You could have some scanners flying over, maybe something else going on in the background, like a chopper flying over. I don't know. I think there was more opportunity here for some functionality. What do you think, Ambient? Any general closing thoughts on Sucksar's entry?
Um, I mean, it pretty much shows up in the final score. I think it was a very basic map in terms of functionality, but it does have a couple of NPCs walking around. It does have the rotating bits here and there, which was a nice touch and helped break up the sort of staticness of the map. And the only gripes I had was that the NPCs are pretty far away, so you don't really notice them as much, as well as the rotating bits. So having something moving a little closer to the camera probably would have brought the functionality up further. Although the wind effect is pretty nice, I'll give them that. But other than that, that's it. That's all I got.
All right, Sloth, any thoughts?
Like I said, could probably just have more things with the floor and the walls. Some were a bit too sparse, and there could have probably been a few more things happening. Just that soldier up there and the ragdoll isn't really much of functionality. Same with the spinners and wind. Maybe a headcrab that showed up occasionally or went around, or a bird that, crow that flew to the body or something. Just something that happens would be nice.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So that was Sucksar's entry. That's third place. In second place, we have 2B's entry with a 6.7 out of 10 overall. For me, as I say, the functionality was spectacular, but everything else I felt needed more work. The visuals, especially, I felt were the weakest of the three maps here. The overall visuals in terms of how the wall was put together, for example, the model. I do appreciate the use of custom assets, but I almost wonder if they were necessary, because there are textures in Half-Life 2 that would have done the job. In RTBR anyway, because some of these are leaked textures, but all of them were here, and I think would have been better utilized than custom assets in this particular case. I did really like the custom soundscape. I kind of ranked that under functionality, I suppose. And authenticity, it was pretty good. I just felt like the lighting was the big thing that let it down. Um, I I think the overall shape is fine, but I think one of the really major things about that concept art is the atmospheric lighting. So for me, that was a big loss in the authenticity category. The lighting is one of my favorite things about that concept art, and I didn't feel this one pulled up on it quite as well as it should have done. Ambient, any closing thoughts?
Mine was pretty much the same. It just needed more time. Uh, Similar, well, yeah, just it needs more time spent on detailing, and like you were saying, it seems like there were not unnecessary, but it's sort of undercooked model usage here, custom model usage, where stuff could have been just carried over from our mod or from the Half-Life 2 leak or just the retail game that could have been an appropriate stand-in and probably would have saved a lot of time. But yeah, it's pretty much it's very atmospheric, and for what it is, it's done pretty well. But it definitely needs just a bit more time in the detail department.
Yeah. Okay. Sloth, closing thoughts?
Like we have said before, needs better lighting. The functionality is there. You can clearly see things are moving and things are happening. It just needs that polish to make it look absolutely amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, for the record, this entry got the best functionality score overall. So yeah, I mean, the functionality is really, really good, and there's a lot that goes on, and I do really appreciate the added detail in making it all work properly. But as I say, yeah. Um, okay, cool. So that leaves one person. The winner, by process of elimination, is Cvox's entry with an overall score of 8. I gave it an 8 in every category because I felt that it was just overall a really good entry. I'm just going to get this one open real quick. Here we go. I think it's really authentic. I think the visuals are really solid, and I think the functionality is really nice, especially with the randomized, I guess, people in the pods. I think people, because sometimes it's a Vortigern or something else. But overall, I really appreciate just everything about this concept art. Recreation, it's got great functionality, it's got great visuals, and it's just a really great entry. All round. I guess my only nitpick, as I say, is I would have liked to see more in the back left and back right. That's what would have put up the visuals for me. And functionality, I'm not sure exactly what, but I wonder if maybe like something in the back left or back right, for example, that kind of fills this empty space and helps orient the player. I think could have added to functionality as well, like maybe just a wall opening and like or something, and maybe an overseer of this location, a stalker working at a console here to make sure it works properly, that kind of thing. I don't know, but all in all, I really like it, and it's a really solid entry, and this one is obviously our first place winner, so this one will be the entry that is the official background map for Division 2. Sloth, any closing thoughts?
While it's really, really accurate to the concept art, I personally feel like some of these brushwork could have been made less blocky. I know the concept art is like has also the blockiness on some of the places, like the central circle bits, but I feel like they could probably smooth them out a bit.
Fair. Ambient, any closing thoughts?
About the only real criticism I had of this is that while like what I said before with the turntable bit in the middle there, that the camera seems to be focused on. It would have been nice to have a sequence where maybe one or two of them would stop on that and get turned in a different direction. I don't know how difficult that would be in engine, but I think since it's like the main primary focus, it'd be good to either detail it a bit more or have it actually be functional.
Yeah, that's
but
fair.
Other than that, I mean, it's a really well put together map. I do have questions about the scale, but it's kind of hard to tell exactly what the scale was supposed to be from the concept art, so that's mostly subjective.
Yeah, I think the concept art is a little bit confusing with the scale in this regard. I just that's why I suggest something in the back left or back right could have helped orient the player a bit. Because I guess if you're looking at the direction people are sitting in the pods, that does help you to kind of figure it out. But I think a little bit more environmental detail that was actually specifically for helping orient the player might have benefited it. But I'm nitpicking to try and find feedback to this because I think it's a really, really solid entry, and I really, really like it. So anyway, that's everything. So thank you everybody for watching. On ModDB, these plus that other background map I showed you that we started but we're not going to finish, will be put up on ModDB in a little zip file so that you can check them out. The VMFs will not be included, don't worry, entrance. I'm only going to be including the BSPs and the necessary custom material. So if you want to use one of the other ones because you prefer one of the other ones, if you want to start using this now for your RTBR build, then yeah, you can have a look at there on ModDB. So I mean, despite the fact that we only had the 4 entries or so, we still managed to make this last an hour, so well done. And yeah, as I say, thank you. We'll probably do another one of these for Division 3 anyway, because 4 entries is honestly nice enough, and this has been a really fun process, and it's been really fun to look at these maps, and there's been some really great stuff, so we'll probably do another one of these before we ship Division 3. You know, around the same time we started this one, maybe assuming that Division 2 ships in a reasonable space of time, and when it does, this will be the official background map for Division 2. The score sheet with the full set of scores will be going on Discord and Twitter and stuff in a little while, and the particle showcase video will be going public as well in just a little while. So expect a ping on the public Discord in not too long with the particle showcase video and some other stuff in it. But otherwise, thank you everybody for watching, thank you everybody who entered, and today is the 3rd year anniversary of RTBR, so I just wanted to say a couple of words as well. I have my 2 co-leads here. RTVR has been, obviously, it's been a long road to get to where we are now. It's not been easy by any means. There's been a lot of work involved in, you know, making this mod, in making the releases we've made so far. We're going to keep going at it. We're going to keep producing the stuff that we want to produce. And we just want to say thank you to all the people in our public Discord who supported us, all the people who voted for us on ModDB all these years, you know. It's been a really interesting journey to here, and we're going to keep going. And hopefully Division 2 and 3 and so on, until we complete the mod, will all be as interesting a journey as up to now. But yeah, thank you everybody, and we will see you next time we stream, which I guess will be for the game night in about 2 weeks or so. That's probably going to be the next time. Yeah, okay. Cool. Thank you everyone. See you around.
See you, people.
Bye, everybody.